Welcome to the Smarter Science of Slim, the scientifically proven program where you eat more and exercise less to burn fat and boost health.
Eat smarter, exercise smarter, live better. I am so ready for that.
Hey everyone, Jonathan Bailor back with another bonus Living the Smarter Science of Slim show. Very, very excited about today's show because we have a first, maybe the first ever, because our guest today is a 38th generation doctor of Chinese medicine, which I'm no expert, and I'm sure he'll correct me if I'm wrong, but that means in his lineage, there was 37 ancestors preceding him, all of which dedicated their lives to the same thing he dedicates his life to. So it must be in his blood. That's awesome. He runs a practice in Santa Monica called the Tao of Wellness, and he has treated Sheryl Crow, Jim Carrey, many other celebrities. He also puts out a great deal of free information, which is awesome. He's the author of Secrets of Longevity and is currently featured as an expert on Yahoo Health, and writes a wonderful blog, and you can learn more about him at his business website, which is taoofwellness.com. That is spelled TAOFWELLNESS.com, and he is none other than Dr. Mao. Welcome to the show, Dr. Mao.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Dr. Mao, 38th generation. Tell us a bit about your story.
Well, first of all, I was born in a lucky sperm club. No, in all seriousness, it's just one of these things. In China, many families actually have many generations in their family going back however many lineages. But in our case, it so happened that back around 730 AD, our first medical doctor ancestor decided that, well, he was going to continue his family in this line of career, if you will, or livelihood. So subsequently, no one dared to break that tradition. So I think, I've been very fortunate, obviously, and as a result, we founded a university in our grandfather's honor, Yosan University of Traditional Chinese Medicine here in Los Angeles. As he was, the closest ancestor that, to our memory, if you will.
Brilliant. The idea of Chinese medicine, I can't think of anyone better to describe and help introduce this concept to our listeners, having done this for nearly 40 generations. So what is, obviously Chinese medicine is medicine from China, but can you dig a little bit deeper and explain what you actually have dedicated your life to?
Well, I would like to say, first and foremost, a little personal story that really caused me to decide this is what I want to do. When I was a child, I fell from the rooftop of our 3-story house, and I banged my head pretty good because then I was in a coma for about a month. When I came out of a coma, I was very, very sick. I couldn't move. I couldn't walk. And so my father, who was a doctor of Chinese medicine and acupuncturist, used all the, range of methodologies within Chinese medicine to heal me. And I'm a living proof that, Chinese medicine is in fact really incredible in its ability to heal all kinds of illness. And so, over the years, and I've now been in practice now for close to 30 years, I've really come to appreciate the kind of the power of the body's ability to heal, because ultimately Chinese medicine guides the body to heal itself. So it recognizes and empowers the individual to activate his or her own inner healing powers. And that's really, in a nutshell, what Chinese medicine is all about. It's a medical system that supports your body's own self-healing capabilities.
The thing that resonates with me so much about this way of thinking, or just more of an Eastern approach to medicine in general, two things. One is, obviously this has gone on for generations and generations and generations, and one has to imagine that if a technique for wellness was ineffective, people would stop doing it. Like this is not something that was invented 10 years ago. This is not something that a pharmaceutical company came out with 2 years ago and put $8 billion of R&D into. So they have a vested interest in getting everyone to use it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the only reason something would have continued for the hundreds, if not thousands, if not tens of thousands of years in your medical tradition is if it actually worked.
There's no question, Jonathan. I mean, the time-tested component of Chinese medicine is very strong. But let's just kind of look at, I think the body's ability to heal has predated everything, every medical system. And so what I'm really happy doing is, using acupuncture and Chinese medicine to support the body's innate wisdom, which, by the way, is superior and it's not going to go in and out of fashion. For example, to this day, right, the advancement of Western medicine and the scientific technology and everything we know, we still can't get rid of a cold. I mean, truthfully, right? But what gets rid of a cold is your body, your body's own immunity. Your body is going to develop the antibodies to fight off the invaders. The body is wise. The body has the capability, and we need to recognize that and nurture it and work with it so that your body can heal itself. And that's really at the root of what Chinese medicine is all about. And that's why this system has worked for thousands of years, because we tap into your body's own capabilities. And that will never cease to work.
It's a little disappointing. I have to say I'm a little disappointed on behalf of the Western world. Hopefully I don't offend anyone here, but a lot of the reason the paleo movement is becoming so popular is there's people out there saying the body is not broken. Like we are not sick intrinsically. We are not meant to age and become diabetic and have cancer at the rates and become obese. The body isn't broken. And Chinese medicine has been rooted in that belief since its inception, whereas some Westerners are just now coming to that realization.
That's right. And I hope it's not a disappointment. I think it's actually great news for everybody. I think people can really celebrate that. Wow. You mean we are naturally, primed to live to be 100, and I'm here to tell you, absolutely, your body wants to live to be 100, and all you have to do is to give what it needs to thrive, and then get out of the way. And we're always in our own way. That's the problem.
Yeah, and it's it makes so much sense, Dr. Ma. I mean, like a car is designed to run for 250, 300,000 miles as long as you just change the oil, give it clean gas, don't run over a bunch of potholes. It's just if you don't destroy it, it will perpetuate itself. But we've seemingly made it so complicated. Why have we added all this complexity?
Well, I think, and Jonathan, it goes back to the sort of the direction that the Western philosophy and Western medical system kind of, sort of went after, this reductionistic model of looking at the most basic unit, the single cell, and going beyond that, the single atom, and then forgetting that what you have is not just one single atom or one single cell. You have an entire organism of cells, tissues, systems, organs, and everything working in sync. Everything is working in homeostasis, that balance. And so I think in our pursuit, in modern times, of the parts, we have forgotten about the whole. And we need to get back to looking at the whole and say, does the mind affect the body? Does the body affect the mind? And does the spirit, affect everything else? And does our relationship with our environment affect our health? And of course, logically, you go, yes, of course it does. But yet, believe it or not, Western science still segregates everything, and nobody talks to each other. So that's why we have a broken, medical system where where the specialists don't talk to the generalists don't, consult the psychologist, and nobody. So you're treating patients in a fragmented way. And of course, then the result and the outcome is less than satisfactory.
It sounds like you started to go in a direction there, which makes me really happy. And I'm going to make sure I'm understanding correctly here. And that is a direction not of Western approach is wrong and Eastern approach is right, but rather that one focuses more on individual components, the other focuses more on the whole. And what if we actually leverage the best from both worlds? Does that appeal and work?
Absolutely, Jonathan. In fact, this is how we practice medicine. We do integrative approaches. We have 3 offices, actually. Our headquarter office in Santa Monica. We have an office in Newport Beach, an office in Pasadena. And we train, through our university, we train many, many doctors on practicing this. So integration, we take the best of both worlds, so that Chinese medicine, sort of presents this holistic approach of, hey, let's look at everything and let's make sure everybody's in communication. And then we don't hesitate to collaborate with our, Western medical counterparts, whether it's a specialist, in the case of reproduction, patients come in and they've got a concern, which is they cannot get pregnant. And if you think about it, well, nature has made every organism that, and gifting that organism with the capability to reproduce so that the gene can be passed on. And so why? What has happened that so many people out there cannot get pregnant? So this is the perfect venue by which we collaborate. We'll work with a reproductive endocrinologist. They will do all the tests and figure out whether structural or hormonally or whatever it might be that's at off balance or not doing well. And then we add in acupuncture and Chinese medicine. Together, we can increase a patient's live birth success rate by 40 to 60%. When we add acupuncture to an IVF cycle. Now that's huge. And that is like, that's amazing considering that you'll spend about $25,000 for a IVF in vitro fertilization treatment, and then to increase your chance of success, not just pregnancy, but we're talking about live birth. So now that's a beautiful statistics that allows us to work with reproductive endocrinologists. In fact, they reach out to us because they want to improve their success rate with their patient.
Dr. Mao, I'm delighted that we crossed this bridge here to talk about fertility because, as you said, I can't think of a better example of going back to the beginning of our conversation where what the body wants, like the body's innate intelligence, obviously, no matter what your belief is, whether it's creationism, evolution, whatever, we all would agree that one of the most basic wants of the body would be to reproduce. Because if the body didn't want to reproduce, if everything about the body wasn't designed to enable reproduction, we would have died off as a species a long time ago. But this most basic of abilities is becoming hard. It's a challenge to reproduce for many nowadays. I know you have an upcoming book that digs into this in detail. What is going on here?
Well, there are many causes, Jonathan, but one of the, I think, biggest causes, people are waiting a little bit too long, right? So you're getting a little old, and in terms of your eggs, for women, that's the egg quality is not so good. And then for men, we're seeing a lower level of sperm count and as well as quality of sperm. And so age has a lot to do with it, but also, Jonathan, we have an environment that is not friendly anymore. We have, I just was telling someone the other day that the receipts you get, credit card receipts you get where you sign, that has a coating on it, a little plastic coating. That now has been implicated in lowering a guy's sperm count. That's bad news. And so just that simple thing. So we polluting our environment and making it very, very difficult for us to do something that's as natural as reproduction. There are many other causes, from environmental to stress to the overall health of people have gone down. I mean, if we look at our diets today, the diet of refined carbohydrates, it's one of the biggest, I believe, enemies of our modern time today. And Sorry. Because what that does is it causes a blood sugar instability, and in addition to that, that will signal your ovary, and for women in particular, and create imbalance there in terms of maturing and producing, eggs, follicles for pregnancy. So there are many issues here, but I would say in general, we are an older population trying to get pregnant, and our environment is definitely making it very, very unfriendly and harsh for us to do so.
I so appreciate this overview of the synergies of Eastern and then a Western approach, this discussion of the body being innately wise. And when we see things like fertility, the most basic of things the body would want becoming a challenge, it's time for us to take a step back and maybe question just about everything we're doing in terms of our bodies. This is great information, Dr. Mao. What's next for you, and where can people learn more about your efforts and your work?
Well, my brother and I are working on a book called Secrets of Fertility, and it should be coming out early part of 2014. It's a very easy and simple book for people to learn about what they can do with their environment, their diet, what herbs and supplements can be helpful, what meditation and stress reduction techniques can be very helpful. And so we continue to reach more and more patients through our actual clinical services. But, through the book, we hope that we can inform the public and give them more self-help information. And you can learn about all our activities on our website, taoofwellness.com. That's Tao of Wellness.com.
Dr. Mao, this is brilliant. I am so appreciative of this, and I'm excited to continue this conversation because I feel like we've only scratched the surface. So thank you so much for sharing your time with us today.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Listeners, our guest again today was Dr. Mao. Learn more about him at his clinical website, which is taoofwellness.com. That again is TAO of wellness.com. And remember, this week and every week after, eat smarter, exercise smarter, and live better. Chat with you soon. Wait, don't stop listening yet.
You can get fabulous free SANE recipes over at carriebrown.com.
And don't forget your 100% free eating and exercise quick start program, as well as free, fun, daily tips delivered right into your inbox at bailorgroup.com. That's BAILOR group.com.